Greetings to you all! Welcome back to Let's Play the Langrisser. Now then, we were getting excited about this Devil Axe. As you can see, what it does is it increases your attack by a great deal. You remember these normal long swords we're using are +4 attack. This is +8, but defense drops by 3. What this means is this item is brilliant on people who attack first. So people who have sword explosion attacks or dragon lightning, it's great on them. The problem is that if I give it to someone like Keith, who has low defense, then one ballista will kill him straight out the sky, because he'll now have even less defense. He won't just have 3 less defense, he'll have an extra 2 less defense on top of that, because he'll lose his necklace he's got at the moment. So I believe it gives 2 defense. Nonetheless, I'm going to be buying one of these, because I have other stuff in mind for everyone else. I don't rate putting it on people that charge per se, but I'm going to put it on Erwin, even though he does charge nowadays, because I happen to know his next class is going to have a much better attack animation. But for now, he may as well have it, because I want to take the Langrisser away from him and transfer it over to Cherie, who is a descendant of light, being a princess and whatnot, and can therefore use it. But I don't want to change her armour, because apparently she can't equip plate mail in her current class. We'll leave her where she is. Interestingly, she can now equip the cross, but she doesn't want to. Other thing to notice, we picked up Gleipnir last level, and we were very excited about that. What Gleipnir does, maybe I'll let the game explain. Unchange Gleipnir, there he is. That one, yes, great. It allows you to summon Fenrir, but that's not why you get it. You get it for that +1 defense. That's a great item. But no, you get it so you can summon Fenrir, which is lovely, but you have to be a summoner, which means that Liana could summon Fenrir, and Hain could summon Fenrir if we took him into a kind of summoning class, which I believe Hain can reach, but ours isn't, he's full mage. So no one in my party is capable of summoning, so that's useless. But if Liana returns someday, maybe, then she could use it and summon up a Fenrir for us. So that's what that was all about. Now let's start dumping people in places. Everyone can have grenadiers because they're all around great. If you remember, we're against a lot of ballistas and a fair old chunk of magic, which means we need hardy units. We gotta take a bit of a beating and keep going. Cherie is quite oddly going to grab some elves because she's going near the back. Otherwise she'll die horrifically to the ballistas. By having some elves, hopefully she'll be able to chip in from long range. And I placed her in the wrong spot, just a moment. You go up there. I wanted Cherie more near the top fight, because I need Keith to go and fight the sea units at the bottom. Thanks, Keith. Which obviously means that Lester is going to go full seabound this level, which is great for him, because he never gets the chance to do that lately. Full set of Nixies, and he's going to go there so he can jump straight into the sea. Now Aaron, the man that nobody loves, is going as far away as possible. Not going to get Aaron any units this level because his units are phalanx and there's no horsemen about. There's nothing which phalanx are going to be very good against. So we'll keep him with no units at all. And Scott is going to load up on Dragoons, same as always, and be shoved front centre. That 1 tile wide bridge is going to be a bit of a pain, but we'll just have to live with that. Let's find out the story related to this if we can't work out that we've been ambushed in our ship. Then the story will hopefully explain exactly how we managed to get ambushed. Thanks, Scott. It's a nice spot there. They managed to establish a bridge between the 2 ships before we realised we got ambushed. Alright. Does mean we get to listen to Imelda's rather fancy tune once again. Of note in this level is that healer. Now I don't see many healing enemies, but they do have a healer, so I have to be a little bit careful and to take him down. I think it's a healer anyway, unless it's a saint, which doesn't really have any healing at all. It looks healy. Okay, Valzera is where we're... Well, Valzeria is where we're going, where we stole the ship for, because that's where we happen to know everyone's gone and they've taken Liana. I don't think we know they've taken Liana. I get the impression we're supposed to have thought that Liana, now the fight's over, has gone home to a castle, probably the Kalzath castle, where there's nobody there because it's completely just empty because everybody left to come on this journey. But I think they're supposed to have sent her back there and we think she's fine. But apparently not. But just as Erwin nicely says there, we are chasing down Berza, who's also gone to Velzeria because he wants to resurrect the sword there. So, important that we get there and stop him. Now, no time limit on this level. We just need to kill this woman. Interestingly enough, our ship doesn't have oars. Makes me a little bit sad. It's alright. Guess we've got nice swanky sails then. Yes, we do. So, you know, maybe we've got the upper hand as well, the way boats go. Which does question why we couldn't outmaneuver them or sink them. Because presumably we have cannons. Nonetheless, let's get straight into the fight. When I say that, I mean let's move forwards. But there's no sense hanging about. There is a sea fight to take place with some superb stats coming out of Leicester. Look at that, plus 14, plus 11. There's a little oddity with that, and I'll explain that in a moment. But Leicester's duty will be to handle the enemy's sea units. That's water, that other tile isn't, that's completely land. Just had to acknowledge that myself there. So Leicester's duty is to handle the enemy's sea commander at the top, and then the flying commanders at the top. Keith's job is to handle the sea and flying commanders to the south, and everybody else just charges straight up to the ship. Now, what I was alluding to about Leicester that's slightly odd, this is not a bug or anything, it's just in the game's programming, that the troop bonuses for his 4th class, I forget what it's called, Serpent Lord, I think, are better than the 5th class, Serpent Master. Now it's quite bizarre because every time as you class up, your bonuses are supposed to get better. But this is the only instance where your bonuses get worse. I think it's the only instance. Though if somebody wants to prove me wrong with some weird, you were a paladin, now you're a cleric kind of example of levelling up. Oh, look at your bonuses have gone right down. Then feel free to do that, you'll look very clever. But generally speaking, your bonuses are supposed to go up if you stay on the same class line. But this is one of those cases where Leicester's going to become more powerful when he becomes a Serpent Master, but his units are going to get worse bonuses. I think it's odd. I would suspect it was a mistake, and the bonuses are supposed to be the other way around. Because a Serpent Lord's bonuses are really, really good for a 4th level class. Which just seems odd. So there we go, that's my thoughts on that. And the reason Cherie has archers is because, one, I don't think we can fit many people across this bridge at a time, so hopefully the archers will be able to do something. And 2, in case the flying units ignore Leicester and Keith and just make a beeline straight for my rest of my forces. Then we'll have archers to take those down. We shouldn't need to use them. I am going to charge blindly across here, and I am aware of the fact that there are 2 mages and ballistas the other end. Grenadiers should do pretty well against those. Imelda's annoyed that we have progressed quite so far in one turn, and she's blaming her units for not acting very well so far, even though they've actually not had a turn yet where they could do anything. She still thinks they're not doing as well as they could do. So, a motivational speech along the lines of do better has got them in fine fighting shape now. Need to be a little bit careful, therefore, when it's their turn, because they're clearly going to go nuts on us. What were you, fellow? You're a saint. Okay, you can't do anything. Well, obviously you can, but you're not much of a healer, and you're not much of a attacker, and I don't really like the saint. Which is odd, considering I have a saint in my team, but that's because I'm taking Cherie to a different class. I'm not saying that sages... Well, curses! I haven't got a saint at all, have I? I've got a sage. Bah. Yep, I will get confused between saint and sage a lot, so presumably saint is the healing one then. I don't know anymore, I'm going to give up. Let's just focus on the facts. So we have choices. Oh, good lord, I've put Keith right in the way of the ballistas. I will never learn from this. Well, there's only one thing we can do, and that is try our best to just damage as many ballistas as we can. I think I can attack 2 of them. Yep, should be able to. Which means, hopefully, they'll both be dead. Ah, shut up, Imelda. Hopefully they'll both be dead, and then I can only take shots from 2 ballistas, and maybe I'll survive. Here's hoping. I don't want to lose Keith in the first round, the first second. So we can but hope on this one. Interesting fact, though, is I can't remember if we have to kill everyone or kill Imelda. If we have to kill Imelda, we could conceivably end it next turn, if Keith doesn't die. But then we miss out on all kinds of experience, and we can't be doing that. No, of course we can't. So that could end poorly. We'll see how we go with that. I'm going to guess you can't reach anything respectably yet, Hayne. I guess you do surprisingly well, but I'd rather you took a step forwards. Cancel, I said. Cancel! Thank you. That will do for you then. We'll see if we can get your ballistas into range. They're probably not going to get in range this turn, but maybe next turn they'll be able to hit something, because, I don't know, your area of influence is pretty respectable now, Hayne. Let's try not to make the same mistake as Scott then. Where are these things? They're going to stand there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so Scott can't really go very far at all. Now I don't mind if Scott's horses die. Why can you move so little? I don't mind if his horses die, I just don't want Scott to die. You can't get anywhere useful. Next turn we'll just do a blind charge over the ridge and see where we go. That seems like a good plan to me. Not going to try and send anyone through the water because it's so incredibly slow. I'd sooner single file it over these little bridges. Now that just about does it for our turn. I'm going to cut the video off here actually because we're running near the clock and I don't know how long the computer will take. So that's going to do it for a video. Hopefully you'll join me next time when we shall watch Keith get massacred by ballistas. I'll see you then.